It's time now to take a look through the international newspapers, and I'm joined by Florence Villemino. Hello,
Hi,
Florence. Now we're going to start off with Turkey-Syria relations. They've gone from bad to worse.
Absolutely. We're going to start by looking at the Turkish press to see how they're reacting to the situation there after Syria shot down one of Turkey's fighter jets. Now, we're going to take a look at Hurriyet, which actually has an article where they go and interview the families of the two missing pilots. And they have a quote there from one of the fathers of the missing pilots who says, "Don't make war just because my son is dead." As of yet, it's unconfirmed. They're still missing, but Hurriyet there is definitely playing up the emotional card. And Turkey also accuses Syria of firing at a reconnaissance plane that was going to try and find those missing pilots. So I'm sure we'll be hearing a lot more about this in the next days to come.
I'm sure we will. Now we're going to stay in the region. Moving on to another story. Vladimir Putin of Russia has met with Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel.
Yes, that's right. It's on the front page of the International Herald Tribune here. There they are meeting in Jerusalem yesterday, according to the Herald Tribune. They discussed issues on which they differed, like Iran and Syria. And we're going to take a look also at the Jerusalem Post, which has their editorial dedicated to that meeting. The Jerusalem Post also points out that despite their strong relations, the Kremlin provides crucial support to Israel's arch enemies. So as the International Herald Tribune was saying, Russia supplies Syria with arms. It has a military base there. It, according to the Jerusalem Post, it provided Iran with crucial nuclear know-how. And yet, the Jerusalem Post points out that a lot of things bring Israel and Russia together, and especially in recent years, thanks in part to a very large population of Russian-speaking people in Israel. They're close to 1 million. And the Jerusalem Post hopes that these ties will grow strongly, mainly economic ties, because according to the Jerusalem Post, Israel has much to offer Russia, particularly in the field of military technology.
And moving on to Egypt, where the president-elect is working on forming a new government. What are the papers saying about that then?
Still getting a lot of attention. We're going to take a look at the China Daily. In their editorial, they wonder what's next for Egypt. The China Daily says that Mohamed Morsi's election is a milestone and welcomes the democratic election, but warns that it doesn't necessarily mean that the country is going to embark on a road of stabilization and social reconciliation. It says that many uncertainties loom ahead for Morsi and his country. Among them, a big political divide in the country. According to China Daily, there's a lack of trust between the Islamists and the secularists, and between political parties and the military. And finally, it says that the military still has a strong grip on power and has in recent months made the role of president kind of a toothless tiger. And there's an interesting cartoon in the China Daily that I think portrays the situation very well. On the top of a seesaw there, you see a very happy-looking Morsi doing the victory sign, but the one who really has the weight and who's really calling the shots is a general, so in reference to the Supreme Council of the Armed Forces, which, according to China Daily and a lot of the international press, is really the one that is calling the shots in Egypt.
And staying with Egypt, you've got some papers looking at other models in the region.
That's right. We're going to take a look at Asharq al-Awsat, which is a pan-Arabic daily, which is based in London. That says, "Fasten your seatbelts, Egypt." According to the newspaper, Egypt and the entire region has entered a very dangerous stage, and the ending could very well not be a happy one. According to Asharq al-Awsat, for Egyptians, the battle has just begun, and they wonder what will the Egypt of tomorrow look like. And they turn to three different models. They turn to Turkey, Pakistan, and Iran. And according to them, Egypt is at a crossroad, and everything will depend on which model they choose to follow, that whether it's politics, economics, the social aspects, religion, culture, everything will depend on that, not only for Egypt, but for the whole region.
All right, we're going to go to the States now, where the FBI is investigating suspected Muslim extremists who were part of the military.
That's right. This is coming from NPR, so National Public Radio. According to them, the U.S. authorities have been on high alert ever since 2009, when there was a shooting attack at Fort Hood that left 13 people dead. Now, that attack was carried out by a U.S. soldier, Major Nidal Hassan, and he went on this killing rampage after having been in touch with an American-born radical imam. And so Ever since then, the FBI has been conducting investigations, supposedly 100 of them, into the suspected Islamic extremists within the military. And according to the FBI, dozens of these cases are considered serious, which means that these insiders would want to carry out attacks on military targets. So as I was saying, they're calling them insider threats within the army. It's not only personnel, but it's also their families or other contractors. According to the Senate committee that was overseeing this investigation, they were very surprised by the large numbers.
Okay, thank you very much, Florence, for running us through the international newspapers.